Margaret stood in the middle of her living room, staring at the stacks of magazines, unopened boxes, and closets bursting at the seams. How had it come to this? She wasn't a hoarder, just someone who had lived a full life, collecting memories along the way. But lately, instead of feeling comforted by these things, she felt suffocated. It was time for a change. 7 days. That's all she gave herself. 7 days to reclaim her space, and in a way, her peace of mind. What happened next surprised even her. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by clutter but didn't know where to start, stick with me. Because the first step, it's easier than you think. The 15-minute rule. Small steps, big wins. Margaret sat at her kitchen table, staring at the mess in front of her. The pile of unopened mail, half-used notebooks, and random knickknacks told a story of years gone by, things she always meant to organize but never quite got around to. The idea of decluttering her entire apartment felt impossible. Where do I even begin? The thought alone exhausted her. But then she remembered something her daughter once told her: just set a timer. 15 minutes, that's all. Skeptical but desperate, Margaret grabbed the kitchen timer and set it for 15 minutes. The goal? Just tackle a single drawer. She opened the first one. Old batteries, mismatched socks, loose paper clips. Piece by piece, she made decisions: keep, toss, or donate. Before she knew it, the timer buzzed. And to her surprise, she wasn't tired. She was energized. That small success was like a spark, reminding her that she could do this. This technique works because it eliminates the overwhelming pressure of cleaning everything. Instead of staring at an entire room, you focus on a tiny, manageable area, and momentum builds fast. As Margaret moved on to her second drawer, she noticed something unexpected. Her breathing felt lighter. Decluttering wasn't just about clearing space, it was about clearing her mind. So, if you're feeling stuck, don't think about the whole apartment. Just set your timer for 15 minutes and start. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you make that first move. 2. The must-keep rule. Making peace with letting go. The next morning, Margaret woke up determined. Yesterday's small victory gave her confidence. But today she faced a new challenge: sentimental clutter. As she pulled out an old box from her closet, she was hit with a wave of memories. There was a ceramic mug her grandson made in 2nd grade. He was 28 now. A sweater her late husband used to wear, and a stack of greeting cards dating back decades. How could she possibly let these go? She sat with the items for a while, feeling the familiar tug of nostalgia. But then she asked herself, do I need this to remember? The truth was, she didn't. The memories lived in her heart, not in these objects. So she made a deal with herself. She would only keep the must-keep items, the ones that truly brought her joy or served a purpose. The sweater, it still smelled like him. She kept that. The greeting cards? She took a photo of her favorites and let go of the rest. The mug? It had been chipped for years, and truthfully, her grandson would probably laugh, knowing she still had it. With a smile, she placed it in the donation box. This method isn't about being ruthless. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing which memories to honor, and understanding that letting go doesn't erase the love behind them. And for Margaret, that realization was freeing. She wasn't losing anything. She was making space for what truly mattered. If you're struggling with sentimental items, try this. Hold each one and ask, does this still serve me? If it does, keep it. If not, consider donating it or taking a picture. You'll find that the memories don't fade, they just take up less physical space. 3. The 3-box method, the fastest way to declutter without regret. By day 2, Margaret had made serious progress. But now, she needed a system to keep the momentum going. Standing in the middle of her living room, she felt that old familiar doubt creeping in. What if I regret getting rid of something? What if I make the wrong choice? She started with her bookshelves. Some books had been sitting there for over a decade, untouched. Would she read them again? Probably not. Into the donation box they went. Then came her kitchen cabinets. Mismatched Tupperware, a waffle maker she hadn't used in years, and enough coffee mugs to serve a small army. She set a limit, 5 favorite mugs. The rest? Donation. What made this method so powerful was its clarity. Instead of overthinking, she had clear categories, and there was no shame in any choice. If she felt hesitant about an item, she put it in a maybe pile and revisited it later. By the time she was done, she had cleared out an entire bookshelf, a third of her kitchen cabinets, and half of her wardrobe. And for the first time in years, she felt a deep sense of relief. This is what freedom feels like, she thought, running her hand over the newly empty space on her shelf. If you've ever been stuck on what to keep or toss, try the 3-box method. It makes decisions so much easier, and if you're unsure about an item, set it aside and revisit it in a few days. Most of the time, you'll realize you don't miss it at all. 4. The take a photo trick, preserving memories without the clutter. Margaret sat cross-legged on her living room floor, surrounded by old photo albums, greeting cards, and trinkets from years gone by. Each item held a story. The silk scarf her sister gave her decades ago, a decorative plate from her honeymoon in Paris, a pile of Christmas cards, each signed with warm wishes from loved ones, some of whom were no longer here. She picked up a porcelain figurine her late husband had given her on their anniversary. She hadn't looked at it in years, yet the idea of getting rid of it felt like a betrayal. If I let this go, will I forget? That's when her friend, Linda, offered a simple solution: take a photo. At first, Margaret scoffed at the idea. A photo couldn't replace the real thing, but as she snapped pictures of each sentimental item, something surprising happened. The memories didn't fade. They became even more vivid. Without the pressure of keeping every object, she could cherish the stories without the clutter. She created a digital album on her tablet labeled Treasured Memories, and stored each photo with a little note: anniversary gift from Richard, 1982, first trip to Italy, 1995. Suddenly she felt a weight lift. She could honor her past without holding on to every single item. If you're struggling to let go of sentimental things, try this. Take a photo, write a little note about why it's special, and store it in a digital album. You'll always have the memory, without the mess. And who knows, you might find that letting go makes the memory even stronger. 5. The 1-year test. Breaking free from what-if thinking. Margaret opened her closet, staring at rows of clothes she hadn't worn in years. The elegant cocktail dress she swore she'd wear again. The shoes that looked lovely but pinched her feet. A drawer stuffed with scarves, most of which had never seen daylight. But the truth was, she hadn't needed these things in years. And that's when she discovered the 1-year test. It was simple. If she hadn't used or worn something in the past year, it was time to say goodbye. No more what-ifs, no more wishful thinking, just an honest look at what she actually used. She started small, pulling out a pair of shoes. They were beautiful, but they hurt her feet every time she wore them. Had she reached for them in the past year? No. Into the donation box they went. Next, a handbag she loved but never used. A dress with the tag still on it. A stack of scarves untouched for over a decade. Each item told a story, but none were part of her present life. As she filled her donation bags, she realized something. Keeping things out of guilt wasn't serving her. It was just cluttering her space and her mind. So here's your challenge. Walk into your closet, pick up any item, and ask yourself, have I used this in the past year? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. And trust me, you won't miss it nearly as much as you think. 6. The joy check method. Only keep what makes you feel good. After tackling her closet, Margaret felt lighter. But there was still one problem. She wasn't just surrounded by clutter. She was surrounded by things that made her feel stuck. There were books she felt guilty for never finishing, gifts she had kept out of obligation, furniture that had once suited her style, but now felt out of place. And then she remembered something her granddaughter once told her. If it doesn't bring you joy, why keep it? It seemed simple, but the more she thought about it, the more sense it made. Why was she holding on to things that didn't make her happy? So she walked through her apartment, one room at a time, picking up each item and asking herself, does this make me feel good? The old armchair in the corner, uncomfortable and rarely used. Gone. The pile of self-help books she felt guilty about not reading, donated. The fancy tea set she never used but kept because it was too nice to give away. Time for someone else to enjoy it. With every decision, she felt a little lighter. Her home wasn't just becoming clutter-free. It was becoming a space that truly reflected her. If you're feeling stuck, try this. Pick one item, hold it in your hands, and ask yourself, does this bring me joy? If the answer isn't a clear yes, maybe it's time to let it go. 7. The bedroom reset. Creating a space that feels like a retreat. Margaret always thought of her bedroom as a place of rest, but lately it felt anything but relaxing. The nightstand was stacked with half-read books, expired medications, and random receipts. Her closet was still bursting with clothes she rarely wore, and under the bed, she wasn't even sure what had accumulated there over the years. One night, as she struggled to fall asleep, she realized the truth. Her cluttered bedroom was affecting her peace of mind. That's when she decided, if she was going to make her home a sanctuary, she had to start with the one place meant for true rest. So she set a goal: clear her bedroom in one afternoon. She started with the nightstand, keeping only the essentials: a lamp, her reading glasses, and a book she actually wanted to finish. Everything else? Gone. Next came the under-the-bed purge. She found old shoes, forgotten storage boxes, even a holiday gift she had meant to give someone years ago. She pulled everything out and only put back what she truly needed. Then came the closet refresh. Using the one-year test from before, she pulled out anything she hadn't worn or loved in over a year. When she was done, she could actually see what she owned. No more digging through endless hangers for that one comfortable sweater. That night, Margaret climbed into bed and felt something she hadn't in a long time: relief. With no more distractions surrounding her, sleep came easily. If your bedroom feels overwhelming, try this. Start with the nightstand, tackle under the bed, then refresh the closet. Your future self will thank you. 8. The kitchen declutter, making room for joyful cooking. The next morning, Margaret poured herself a cup of tea and looked around her kitchen. It was clean, but it wasn't functional. Every cabinet was crammed with mismatched Tupperware, expired spices, and gadgets she hadn't used in years. The countertops, meant for food prep, were littered with unnecessary appliances. She realized something: cooking used to bring her joy, but now, even making a simple meal felt like a chore. The clutter was getting in the way. So she made a plan: declutter her kitchen, one section at a time. First, she tackled the cabinets. She laid everything out and was shocked at what she found: 3 colanders, 5 baking trays, and enough coffee mugs for a small cafe. She kept only the essentials and donated the rest. Next came the pantry. Expired cans, stale crackers, and long-forgotten spices filled her shelves. As she cleared them out, she thought, no wonder I always feel like I have nothing to eat. Now everything she kept was fresh, visible, and easy to grab. Finally, she focused on the countertops. The slow cooker, blender, and food processor all had their place. But did they need to live on the counter? She stored what she didn't use daily, instantly freeing up space. Suddenly, her kitchen felt open, light, and inviting. That evening, as she cooked dinner, she noticed something surprising. She enjoyed it. If your kitchen is feeling overwhelming, try this. Clear the cabinets, refresh the pantry, and free up your counters. Cooking should be joyful, not stressful. 9. The unexpected joy of empty space. Why less really is more. After tackling her bedroom and kitchen, Margaret expected to feel accomplished. What she didn't expect was how much she loved the empty spaces. In the past, whenever she cleared out a surface, she felt the need to fill it again. An empty shelf? Time for more books. A bare nightstand? Maybe a decorative vase. But this time was different. As she walked through her newly decluttered home, she felt something she hadn't in years. Breathing room. The empty spaces weren't missing something. They were adding something. Calmness, clarity, freedom. She realized that for so long she had equated a full home with a warm home. But in reality, her favorite spaces were now the ones that held only what she truly loved. So she made a new rule: leave some spaces empty. No more filling shelves just for the sake of it. No more clutter creeping back in. She embraced the openness, and in doing so, she found peace. If you've ever felt the urge to fill a space, try this. Leave it empty for a while, and see how it feels. You might just find that what you were searching for wasn't more things, it was less. 10. The best of the best rule. Choosing what truly matters. Margaret had made remarkable progress. Her bedroom was a peaceful retreat, her kitchen was a joy to cook in, and for the first time in years, she wasn't drowning in clutter. But one last hurdle remained: the sentimental items. She walked to her hallway closet and pulled out a box labeled Memories. Inside were old love letters from her husband, her children's first baby shoes, and keepsakes from vacations long past. Every item tugged at her heart, whispering, "You can't let me go." But then she asked herself a powerful question: what if I only kept the best of the best? Instead of holding on to everything, she would choose only the most meaningful, the pieces that truly brought her joy. As she worked through the piles, she realized something. It wasn't the things she was afraid of losing, it was the memories, and those, they would always be with her. When she was done, she had kept a handful of truly special items, and instead of stuffing them back into a forgotten box, she displayed them in a small memory chest, where she could appreciate them every day. If you're struggling with sentimental clutter, try this. Only keep the best of the best, because when you surround yourself with the most meaningful treasures, you don't lose anything. You gain clarity, space, and a deeper appreciation for what remains. 11. The one-box method, a simple way to set limits. After going through her keepsakes, Margaret felt lighter, but there was still more. Her drawers held old birthday cards, trinkets from friends, and even souvenirs from people she barely remembered. That's when she knew she needed a rule. Something simple, something clear. Enter the one-box method. The idea was simple: limit sentimental storage to one single box, not a whole closet, not multiple drawers, just one dedicated space. She found a beautiful wooden box and set a challenge for herself. If it doesn't fit inside, I can't keep it. At first, she panicked. What if one box isn't enough? But as she sorted through her things, she realized most of them weren't truly important. Did she need every Christmas card she had ever received? No. Did she have to keep every ticket stub from every concert she'd been to? Definitely not. Everything else, she let go with gratitude. The beauty of the one-box method is that it forces you to prioritize. When space is limited, you naturally choose what matters most. And in doing so, you clear out the emotional noise, leaving only what truly deserves a place in your life. If sentimental clutter is weighing you down, try this. Find a special box, and limit yourself to what fits inside. You'll be surprised by how free it feels to make space, not just in your home, but in your heart. 12. Releasing the guilt. Learning to let go with love. As Margaret sealed her donation box, she felt a strange mix of emotions. Relief, yes, but also a tinge of guilt. Some of these things had been gifts, others had belonged to loved ones who had passed. Was she dishonoring them by letting go? It's a feeling many of us face, this deep-seated guilt over getting rid of things that once held meaning. But then Margaret had a realization. Letting go of an object doesn't mean letting go of the love behind it. She thought about her mother's old china set, the one she had kept even though she never used it. It had been sitting in a cabinet for years untouched. Would her mother have wanted that? Or would she have preferred that Margaret pass it along to someone who would actually cherish it? So she did something radical. She gave it away. She gifted the china set to a young couple who had just moved into their first home. Seeing their joy, she knew she had made the right decision. The love remained, even if the object did not. Here's the truth. our loved ones would want us to be happy, not burdened. Holding on to things out of guilt only weighs us down. Instead, we can honor their memory by passing on joy, not clutter. If you're struggling with guilt over letting things go, try this. Ask yourself, would this person want me to hold on to this, or would they want me to be free? More often than not, the answer is clear. 13. The one in, one out rule. Keeping clutter from sneaking back. Margaret woke up the morning after her decluttering journey, feeling something she hadn't in years: light. Her apartment was open, her shelves were clear, and she could breathe in her own space. But then, as she sat at her kitchen table sipping tea, a thought crossed her mind. What if the clutter creeps back in? She had spent 7 days transforming her home, but she knew from experience how easy it was for things to pile up again. That's when she made a decision. She needed a plan to maintain this newfound peace. And that plan was the one in, one out rule. The concept was simple. For every new item she brought into her home, one item had to go. She tested it out the next time she went shopping. She found a beautiful new scarf that she loved, but before she bought it, she reminded herself, one in, one out. That meant one of her older scarves had to go. She went home, picked out a scarf she hadn't worn in over a year, and put it in the donation pile. At first it felt strange, but after a few weeks it became second nature. She was no longer mindlessly accumulating things, she was making intentional choices, and the best part, her home stayed clutter-free without her even trying. If you want to keep your space from filling up again, try this. Whenever you bring something new in, let go of something old. It's a simple habit, but it's the key to making sure your decluttering efforts last forever. 14. The 10-minute daily reset. A game changer for staying organized. Margaret had always thought decluttering was a one-time thing, a big project that you tackled once and then forgot about. But as she looked around her newly organized home, she realized something. Clutter doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks in little by little. That's when she decided to start a new habit, the 10-minute daily reset. Every evening, before winding down for the night, she set a timer for 10 minutes. During that time, she walked around her home and did a quick reset. She put away stray papers, cleared off countertops, and made sure everything was back where it belonged. It was amazing how much of a difference those 10 minutes made. Instead of waiting until things become overwhelming, she was staying ahead of the mess. No more stacks of mail piling up, no more dishes left in the sink, no more "I'll do it later" excuses. And the best part, it became effortless. 10 minutes a day was nothing compared to the hours she used to spend decluttering once things got out of control. If you've ever felt like your home slowly slips into chaos, try this. Set a timer for 10 minutes each evening, and do a quick reset. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to maintain an organized home when you tackle it in small, manageable steps. 15. The monthly reflection. Staying mindful about what matters. A month after finishing her decluttering journey, Margaret sat in her now cozy living room, reflecting on how much her life had changed. Her apartment was no longer a source of stress. She no longer spent hours looking for lost items. She no longer felt weighed down by things she didn't need. But most importantly, she felt a newfound sense of clarity, and she didn't want to lose that. So she created a simple practice, the monthly reflection. By checking in with herself each month, she ensured that clutter never had a chance to take over again. If you want to make sure your home stays peaceful, try this. Once a month, take 15 minutes to reflect. Walk through your space, notice what's working, and make small adjustments. It's not about perfection, it's about staying connected to what truly matters. Look at you, decluttering superstar. 7 days, a lighter home, and a mind clearer than my glasses after a good wipe. Feels good, doesn't it? Now don't keep this magic to yourself. Drop a comment, share your experience, or tell me what weirdest thing you found buried in your clutter.